All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Controlled Chaos. Here again is the entire crew. Chandler to my left, Clay to my right, and on the very far side, Ryan King.
Hi.
Why was it my full name? What up?
Anyways, let's go back over the meet we just did. SummerSlam. So far was our biggest one to date. Over 400 spectators, 108,
106.
106.
106.
Ryan, you were one of them.
I was.
So how did you do?
Oh, I mean, I didn't know if you wanted to go about like the full meat setup, tear down process, or we're just going right to the meat of the meat and potatoes.
I mean, just
talk.
just legit.
Oh, I mean, so like I did well. Was it 7 for 9?
Mm-hmm.
I really should be more confident about that.
7 for 9.
7 for 9.
Mm-hmm.
3 for 3 on squats, 2 for 3 on bench. Missed the first one. That jumped the command, and then 2 for 3 on deads. And I just couldn't get my third attempt up, but it was good.
Numbers wise.
What was it? Like you want every attempt number, or just like the biggest?
Literally the ones that matter.
Okay, so
I mean, squats are really the only one that really matter the most.
I mean, all of his benefits.
No, like he had a premonition, like a dream.
Oh yeah.
So like that's the one that matters.
Yeah, so like squat, we hit 402. I had a dream the Monday leading up to it, and it was like I had said to Sean the Tuesday. I'm sorry, that took me out. I had like said to Sean the Tuesday leading up to it, I was like, hey, like I had this dream. It was the third attempt. I came out and it was like 402 on the bar. I've never hit that. Like the most I had hit in training, it was like the 2.
It was a 386 that Clay peer pressured you into.
Yeah, but it was like how far out? It was like 3 weeks out, technically.
2.5.
But yeah,
It was your last heavy squat.
Well, it wasn't supposed to be my last heavy squat. That's why I was like,
Well, it was. It was
next week was supposed to be the last squat.
Balls dropped that day.
And we had hit like 386, and it was RP 11. Like it moved very slow, and so I had that dream, and I just like fucking joked around. I was like, yeah, Sean, I had this dream. You know, maybe it happens. And then came off from the second squat. And every time I like get on the platform, I don't remember shit. I just black out.
I think it's pretty normal, to be honest.
Like, I don't remember the weight on my back, how it felt. And Sean was at the table, and I just walked up, and I was like, fuck it, send it. I don't know what I just hit. I don't know how far we are. Just do it.
Yeah, he says send it and walks off like he's a goddamn action hero. But I'm just like,
which like I don't do.
I mean,
like
he smoked the first two, so
like I don't do that. Like I'm very, Sean program me with this. Oh, that's pretty heavy. Hey, how about we maybe go a little bit lighter if I feel like shit one day? So I've never had like a moment where I've like called the shot, like I am going to do that. So hit that. Biggest bench was 112.5, so 248. And then deadlift was another PR, 429 for my second attempt. So it was good. And then place, there was like 7 or 8 people in my weight class. The only meet. Wow, I just had a stroke. It's my second meet ever within a year of training. So like, I think I placed 7.
You placed number 1 in our hearts.
In totality of the meet, I placed 69. So that was pretty cool.
We like that number.
Yeah. But otherwise, yeah, no, I was super happy. Not on program anymore. I feel so out of it. I've just been playing with like the specialty bars and just trying to have fun, and it feels so weird being off program after essentially 31 weeks of being on program. So I don't love it, but looking to do January next.
Yeah, January 6th, which sneak peek, it's going to be called Capital City Classic here at the Chaos Lab.
Yeah.
Clay, how would you say the meet went on your end? I mean, you're on a completely different side than us running it or competing in it. You're always everywhere.
That meet was mentally and physically exhausting because I was sick with a sinus infection for like, I think like the week before, and then no, it was like that the week of that meet, I was sick. It felt like I had. No, we can't say it. I had like the C. It felt worse than that when I had the C.
The actual C word.
Yeah, it
I
felt.
never got it.
You still came in and trained that week though.
Yeah.
You did not slow down.
I couldn't. Because this is like I'm in prep for Raw and Pass, so I mean,
11 weeks out, baby.
yeah.
Just bound.
But so honestly, battling with that, and then I wasn't even checking my weight. So I checked my weight like that Monday, bro. That week, I lost like 6 pounds that week because, again, just like running around, and I wasn't sleeping because I was just still like working and then still doing real estate photography and stuff like every day and shit. So I had like no time to rest, and I didn't go to the doctor. I was just getting like whatever off the counter meds I could get that I could think would work and stuff, and it would work. But then like I would run out and like I need to get more, but I don't have time to get more. So, but yeah, and then but battled through that. Media wise, we did very well. But then after we finished doing like packages and stuff, I think like after that meet, I've still kind of just been like mentally just fried from just doing any kind of content or just anything editing wise, because it's just, I guess I kind of just like burnt out, and then I was just like drained, and like I didn't even do a recap for SummerSlam. I still want to, and I still plan on doing it just to fucking do it, but like I had that.
Yeah, man. We like a week out from our next meet.
It don't matter.
Let's say, yeah.
I'm still dropping it. It's still gonna be flamed, so it really doesn't matter.
I'm gonna say, during that, like you're training, we're all training. Brian's competing. Clay's doing all of that between the last meet he just covered,
But it's also
meet, and then
but it's also because
podcast in the middle.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
after day one, we did the podcast that night.
Yeah, I want to apologize for all the coughing in the Pinnacle Health podcast. I was fighting for my life that day. And then
Hell, it was Chandler's birthday weekend.
also,
Yes.
who's fucking
crazy.
yeah, and whose fucking idea was to do that podcast episode? Me.
That was your idea, yeah.
Yeah.
I made it happen, but it was your idea.
Yeah. But I guess I haven't really done anything content wise because I kind of get through that phase where it's just like, if I really don't feel like doing something, I'm not going to force myself to do it, because then I'm going to half-ass it and it's not going to be good and I'm going to hate it. So I'm kind of getting out of that phase now to where I'm finding that spark, and to where I'm like, okay, I'm like, because I finally feel better. I'm not sick anymore. And I don't hurt as much as I did for the last like couple weeks with shit. So coming back to that next week. But yeah.
Yeah, crazy life here. Just all the different things that we have going on in front of and behind the scenes. And like I said, going to Chandler's birthday, that meet, the podcast and everything. Now it's Chandler's turn to compete next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we right back at it.
Like
Oh my fuck, it is.
8 days out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Next Saturday.
Cool.
8. Yeah.
What's your expectations with it?
I plan to go dummy next Saturday, to be honest.
Fuck some shit up.
Yeah. Training's been going really, really well. Last 3 weeks, I've hit PRs on squat and deadlift consecutively, like every single week. So sky's the limit, to be honest. I really would like to PR on squat and deadlift, but we'll see how it shakes out on meet day.
You got a number in mind?
Squat,
Try to go for 500.
500. I'm coming for that ass. Bench, anything 3+ will be much appreciated.
I hit 303 your last meet.
I hit 297 as a conservative third on my last meet, because last meet we were competing for USPA, and the goal was to go to USPA Nats. That was before they all fell apart. And so 297 in terms of my bench secured me enough of numbers that I could hit a pretty confident deadlift on my second and secure my total to go to Nats for USPA. And then third was a PR in October. So again, just trying to beat my numbers from last meet. The way that things are trending, I will definitely do that. And it's just gotta have fun and see where we land. So
yeah, now he's in WRPF with me, and that structure, it's a little bit different with the qualifying totals and everything. So
yeah,
hopefully next year we're looking at more national and regional competitions just because of how schedule lined up. Honestly, there's only one more meet in Virginia, and that's November. So only one more opportunity, really.
WRPF is, everything is still shaking out. But
you're also getting ref now too.
Yeah, I just got certified as a state ref or level 1 ref, if you want to get the term correct. Did that with Travis Papa Bear Rogers up at his gym, the Bear Cave up in Maryland. So that was a pretty cool experience a couple weeks ago. Got to again hit one of those big deadlifts up with him and his crew. Got to see Zach Myers hit his world record deadlift and total at the 308 weight class. So that was a pretty crazy meet.
That's breaking Larry Wheels' record.
Yeah.
Again.
So a lot of big things for WRPF, just every month it feels like, getting more established, bigger meets are coming. American Pro 2 will be coming up here pretty shortly.
Yeah, we're going to be helping out with that, sending our combos and monolith up there.
So yeah, I mean, trying to get Chaos's name and WRPF as big as humanly possible with this new federation. So it's good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be our first one, like solo, actually hosting one, and
we run shit.
I mean, yeah,
Mr. Meet Director over on my right.
I mean, I'm not really nervous about it per se because we've done everything before. At this point, it's number 10.
Yeah,
something like that. I
think in terms of running meets, we got that in the bag.
It's either 9 or 10.
I don't know.
But anyway, it's just we've done everything. We've been behind the scenes. We've competed. We've done all the work that needs to be put in. We have all the equipment. I mean, at this point, it's just kind of doing a point and click.
This is the most behind the scenes we've been, though. Like, we've never done anything with lifting cast before, aside from like watching Saber when he's setting it up with USAPL. We've never been behind the table in that sense. Like, we tested it out earlier this week.
I have.
So yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm Mr. Level. I'm at level 1.
I'm a ref now
with Saber. And
what I'm saying is, like, in the setting up process, like, we tested it this week, and honestly, just playing with it, it's so easy. I was so nervous for it. Like,
no, lifting cast, they've done a pretty good job of making it pretty easy. There are definitely a couple of bugaboos here and there that I know that not everybody loves, but for us running the show, like, it'll be plenty simple.
Yeah, I think
for us to run things.
I think the best part about it is that we're running it and we don't have to do it like anybody else a certain way.
Yeah,
that's true. We don't have to answer to anybody. It is entirely our show.
Yeah.
Again, it's no longer somebody talking about how they want to do it.
It's just
they don't get to kick people out if they don't like something.
Yeah, we get to do it.
It is our building entirely.
You just from my experience from just going to USBA and WRPF meets, those shits are exhausting. They are long as hell. And just I think just based off of just how they're ran and how, they're set up, and it's just,
to be honest, I mean, it's people. It's not really like them that's federation.
I imagine
who run them.
But go ahead.
This meet will be the longest meet we have held to date.
You think
Just
so?
because, again,
that's the first time that we're doing it.
It is, yes. Everyone else who has come in has held meets before. This is the first, like, not that it's going to be like 10 hours long, but like, there will be hiccups that we have never encountered and had to deal with.
I will say, though,
I mean,
that we won't have
here.
Yeah,
we'll be fine.
Yeah, we also will not have to deal with like loading up a trailer to get the equipment out of here. So like, it's just on Saturday. So like, whatever time like lifting is done, we can really just like close shop and then come back on Sunday and that's put everything back the way that it needs to be. So like, that'll cut down a little bit, like the day of, to get us out of here a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
And then we can just take, a full day for us to recover, in terms of like our space here.
Yeah.
Like, I think that'll be, a point in our direction. So
Yeah,
I wouldn't
I
say it's
anticipated to run normal schedule. I mean, the most I would anticipate is the fact that we would be going through awards slower than Saber does. Saber has that thing down efficiently.
I mean,
Well, I think it's also just
the amount of
the-
awards too.
yeah, because it's just the different federations with the whole
Subcategories.
yeah,
a lot.
God damn, bro.
That's what I'm saying. That part will be the longest part.
With lifting
Lifting
guys,
take-
you can
It's
Organize-
the amount of awards though.
organize the lifters and stuff. Like it'd be pretty easy to.
Well, that's the easy part.
Yeah.
It's
What is it?
actually handing them out though. 'Cause
Full power, bench only, deadlift only.
Push pull.
push pull. Yeah. I think
God damn.
we
Juniors, submasters, open, masters.
estimating. I
Team.
think we have some
State
90
record.
medals we are giving out.
National
So,
record, world record,
We don't have to give out any of those kind of like awards or anything.
fourth attempt.
With national records, they're still not being set yet. There is no fourth attempts.
We
It's one of
yeah
the best rules
with,
of action is stricken out.
thank God.
WRPF, you have to sanction the meet to set records higher than like state records. So we're not gonna have anything crazy going.
WRPF, I love you.
In
Thank
theory,
you so
there
much.
could be a fourth lift if for some reason somebody challenges a call, they
Right.
get a relift, but not like a true, they want to take another lift because they hit their third one and they want to go up.
Yeah, no.
That
So like that is the beauty of it. There is none of that.
I'm one person that says that I don't think that should never be allowed in just a local meet.
I agree.
A fourth attempt, or you know what I mean.
We had
I don't
talked
think.
about it.
I don't think in general. I don't think any
I
level
No, I don't. Well, no,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm saying in general. I
You're
think
on your third.
right.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
So-
no, yeah.
So, for instance, the American Pro, when they actually ended the meet, Micah ended the meet, and then he actually brought Dan Griggs out again to attempt
Yeah.
an even higher world record, just unofficially. I could see something being done where you could be like, you know what, you hit the world record or you tied it on your third because that's all you could really pull at that time.
Yeah.
If we really want to do something unsanctioned wise, and you come back out and you hit something crazy, then sure. Or even Nabil, he bombed out of the meet in Chicago, I think it was, and he went back to the warm up room, pulled that shit for 2. Because it was just like, well, my meet's done before I even got to do my deadlifts. I trained my whole prep for deadlifts, so I'm gonna break that shit in the warm up room. It's like,
No, I do agree.
I wouldn't
that-
mind.
I do agree though that since it's something that is allowed, I definitely think that if it's allowed, then it should only be at like a national level meet. Like doing a fourth attempt or some shit at a local meet, that's stupid. And then honestly, it just shouldn't count. It should not be a thing.
Well, so it doesn't count for the USBA. The fourth attempts don't count towards your total or anything. It literally just goes down as a record. Like it wouldn't even be
Yeah.
your third. So like it really is the most pointless. Just,
Right. So then when they fail it, it's like you really just wasted our time.
Yeah, you wasted.
Yeah, there was
You have to put 3 minutes back on the clock for them to
You
rest,
wasted.
and then they have to attempt it, which they had a full minute to do that.
Man, you're a dickhead if you do a fourth attempt.
I was gonna say we had
I've had athletes do it, but like,
no, but like
I abide by the rules.
we have had how many happen when we had them here, and I think we've only ever seen
Like under 10.
but like there was only like 1 or 2 that were actually successful fourth attempts.
I think we'll also
Caleb got his, so his one of
But
the.
that's what I'm saying is like there was only like 1 or 2 that actually were successful fourth attempts, and it's like otherwise, okay, we just put on X amount of time on these meets, we're all tired, we want to go home, and it's like we're just.
I'm sorry. We have another attempt.
Yeah, no. Well, that was the worst part when there would be somebody and with like the energy super high. And it's like, oh, it's the last lifter of the day,
Hold on, folks, we ain't done yet.
and then it like happens and it's quiet. It's like, oh, actually, this guy's gonna go again, and it's like,
So it's really not a common thing on squats. It's not a common thing
no,
on like, I mean, sometimes on bench, but like really it was the deadlifts. And you're really trying to end this meet. You're like, oh, that was the last one. But then you realize that the first 3 guys who came up who were 148 pounds, just
yeah, a little 13
random example.
Timmy or something.
Yeah, they want to pull a fourth Tim, just like,
It's never ending.
man,
Sean really hates his lower weight classes.
You know what it reminds me of? Did y'all ever hear that like that WrestleMania prank call? Like the dude just keeps going on.
Oh, the John Cena award, yeah.
It was John Cena.
That's why you get tickets to go see WrestleMania. Dan. And then she just keeps going. He pisses her off. He goes on for like 5 or 10 minutes. Shit, that shit is so
That's
funny.
literally
USP. That's
USP.
what I'm saying. And then he calls her back.
I've never done a fourth attempt, actually, just not thinking about it.
Sean, please do not ever.
Thank you so much.
Fourth attempt.
We don't just
Please have my third attempt be my last one.
because my third attempts have always been the state records, or second or third attempts. So like I've never done one myself.
I don't need a fourth, bitch.
Hey, my record's still standing.
Again, I beg, please don't have me do a fourth attempt.
But you know what? I'm gonna go right into that shit. State records don't fucking matter.
That's kind of cool.
No, they don't fucking matter.
I know that you have one that still stands, but like if I had one, I'd probably like.
There's a guy who doesn't have.
I'd probably post that shit anywhere. Like,
For what?
what do you mean?
What does it mean?
Do you
beat someone 10 years ago?
So do you mean it in the sense of like, oh, I beat this state record and then I beat it again, and then people will like,
No, just in general. Like I currently hold a state record that's been there for 3 years now. It doesn't fucking matter.
I mean,
There is someone in a different federation, maybe younger,
Yeah.
heavier or lighter, and they have that record.
No,
It's not a national record, so it doesn't matter.
that's
Even
fine.
national records between federations almost don't matter because in 181 in one federation versus another,
I feel like this is more an argument about like having too many
Separation.
federations.
No, that's what I was about to talk about. Yeah.
Like you can like kind of
Yeah.
get
when
an
state
idea.
records too, it's like the basis of it. But like, yes, too many federations.
No,
No,
but like
but-
you know, like you're basically arguing that you are not being compared against somebody in a different federation.
Yeah.
So like it shouldn't matter because somebody else who competes somewhere else could have or have broken your record. And so like to be fair, like
So we all
for whoever, you know, wherever your record stands, you are the strongest motherfucker in that federation. Like that's in Virginia. Like that's kind of cool.
and
we have-
it's
we
also
give you an
like
example.
to your state too.
real quick.
I mean,
So we all been to college, right?
Yeah.
You ever seen the kids that come from high school and they're like, "Oh, I want a state championship." Who fucking cares? That's a state record.
aren't you that kid as well?
No, I've never won a state championship.
Oh, well, maybe that's why I don't care.
I have a state record though, so it doesn't matter.
Well,
It's the same thing. It does. No one cares about it.
Okay. I guess I'll say is
go to states or something.
Yeah, we wouldn't say.
Oh, that's it.
it's
Oh yeah.
I feel like that's
we had an argument. I
different
remember arguing.
because
It was oh shit. It was. I remember we had an argument about would you rather like lose by 1 point in the state championship or get blown out? Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't
that was a pretty big argument.
Oh yeah, I mean, what was your side again? Just to make sure I don't like argue.
You were blown out.
I'd rather get blown out.
We lost 25-0 in a state championship. That's not like obscene. We were talking about like getting just 45 points.
No, I know. I
and
know.
absolute demolished or losing by 1 point.
Yeah, I'd rather
Yeah.
get blown out.
I'd rather lose by one
I would rather lose.
Yeah.
I'd rather get blown out.
because it's like why would they even there?
But
Yeah.
Like you didn't really deserve to be there. You got there by luck, and then the team that deserved to be there whooped your ass. Like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you lose by one. That was a game the
that just,
entire
that,
time.
That just
Like I gave it my all,
Yeah,
and
talked about it.
like
It was like
and
the
like
third
the
one.
the coin flip just landed on them. Like
that's exactly what it is. You losing 1 point, bro. No matter what, losing by 1 point, you're always gonna be mad. Every time you think about that shit, you're always gonna be mad about it. You're always gonna be sad about it. That shit's gonna hurt. You gonna relive that moment that happened in that last minute.
are you really
Bro,
trying
how
to
you
tell
lost that
me
game
that
and
like
shit?
the next
No, but I'm
next week after you get blown the fuck out of the state championship that you gotta walk around?
No, but I'm saying
That's
but it's
embarrassing.
no, it's embarrassing. But to me, that's more so. It is what it is kind of shit because it's like when you think about it, getting blown out, shit just wasn't clicking. Offense wasn't
We thought we
clicking.
were going to be
defense-
Cinderella
defense-
team. We thought we were going to be the team of Bradford High School.
No, right.
And all of a
but-
sudden, we go to that state championship game. We get blown the fuck out. You know what happened?
No, yeah, that shit. No, I'm not denying.
I did not
that. Like,
deserve to be there. Then.
No, that shit's embarrassing. But I'm saying it is more so. Shit like if you lose like that, shit literally shit just wasn't clicking. Your offense wasn't clicking, defense wasn't clicking.
Yeah, but
regardless,
nobody's
shit
gonna look
wasn't
at it like
clicking.
that. They're
Yeah,
just gonna look at
but
the scoreboard and go,
I'm saying
you got 25-0. Oh, you guys shouldn't have
If
been.
we lost 24-25, they're gonna be like, "Damn, that team was solid. That was one of the greatest games we saw." Good, you know what? Good job, son. You're gonna get one of those.
Dog
showed up.
Scouts looking at you after you get blown out are gonna look the other way.
He's sorry as hell. He didn't help his team at all. You tell me that nothing went right. and he's still good? No.
I mean, the scout came out there, and you did something before that game that made the scout come out.
Then he's gonna change his mind too.
That's what I'm saying. Like if
He
you
can
if he
catch
comes
no
out
passes, no yards, no tutties.
You can see it in his head changing. Clay's in here like,
Okay,
"Hey,
no,
you guys
no,
are-
but that, but scout, but
That
scout,
rush had gone.
scouts more individual shit. You can still have a good game and get blown out.
If you score 0 points,
Individually
In basketball, yes.
depending on
In basketball, yes.
depending on your
Non-football.
depending on your position.
Non-football.
Say if you had a lockdown corner, he shut and say just think of the scenario. Think of the scenario.
You know what down corner does?
Say
game?
just, let me give you the scenario.
I'm sorry, question.
Okay, let me just say this. Hypothetically speaking, say this lockdown corner, best receiver on that team straps his shit the entire game. Still, but his team still gets blown out. You think that scout is literally going to look the other way after that shit still?
Yeah, because you know what a good coach does? He rotates that corner. He rotates that corner to everyone else that's scoring.
But what if the game plan is to literally just no matter what, let everybody else beat him, let everybody else beat us except for that guy?
Well, that's
If you
in
were on
this exact
in
circumstance,
this exact scenario, if you were on their
one
best,
star player is on lockdown defense, yes,
So I'm just
you have a point.
But I'm just saying individual.
But
I'm just saying
in every other situation,
I'm just saying individually, you can have a good performance in your team.
maybe
Still-
again, maybe as a defensive player, as an offensive player, if your team is getting blown out, that means you're not scoring. So on offense, you're not playing, you're not doing shit. So
No,
if you're a defensive player,
because
maybe individually you could potentially still
But you
do
can say
okay.
that your blocking was great the entire game. No sacks allowed, but your quarterback couldn't throw touchdowns. Your team sucks, you suck.
Yeah. But if you're in the state championship, your quarterback doesn't suck that bad. Like,
I'm talking about from a scout. I'm talking from a scout's perspective. The
it all relates to state records.
The scout's more so just looking at
because
that.
again,
The scout's more so just looking at that one play.
As a college
Don't give a
athlete,
shit
when
what the
someone
quarterback
came onto the team, that little hairy high school player, no one gave a shit about your high school championship. No one cared about that scout that almost took you D1.
see, I will
That's
say
a state record. No one cares about that small shit.
I feel like is not the same though, because the only way that those two equate is if you are now taking your state record around and being like, I don't really compete anymore, but I still have this state record.
If that
Like if you went from like football
these are
team
people,
to like,
people who are still playing. People who are still playing would do that.
but yeah, so like
Expect the team to do that.
you're basing your worth based like
But that's-
on something. He got on your team because he went to states and won.
Not necessarily.
But the other thing though, a state record
Yeah.
doesn't change until somebody beats it. Where like a state championship, it's every year. It's very different. Like every year there is a state championship for every season. So like again,
every competition there could be a new state record.
yeah,
It just so happens that
But
like
again, eventually it gets to a point where in that weight class, it is at a number that is difficult to attain, where it's like you still have to be able to beat that. It's not like every single year somebody's beating it. Like, you wouldn't have that record still if somebody kept beating
that's
it.
why all-time world records are the most important ones.
Well, yeah, obviously that's the Olympics. That is like, oh, I got gold.
No, but
fucking
No,
gymnastics.
that's across all federations.
But listen.
Drug
So like,
tested, untested.
if let's just say next weekend I were to beat whatever your number for state record is, you would look at me and say, you're kind of strong. Like that's not bad. Like you're not gonna look at me and be like, doesn't fucking matter, idiot. Like
Well, I get
it's
like
also-
different.
no, but
No,
like
in
regardless of our relationship, like if somebody were to beat that number at our meet, it is an impressive number.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna scoff at it. You're okay. Like you're doing well. Keep training, and maybe you can get a national or world. You know what I mean?
It is a record until broken. So like, yeah, you've had it for however long. You have beaten your own record at this point.
Yeah,
So it's like, yeah, to you it doesn't matter, but also technically it is a dead federation. Sorry, hate to be that guy.
A cooked product.
it doesn't matter.
But
It's a
that's the
state
thing.
record.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, but it's like, okay, well, now whenever you compete WRPF, well, I mean, you're not going to
Their records are reset. So like I literally
So that's the
go
thing,
in
though, is yeah, eventually it's going to just keep ticking until it hits that top point where, yeah, that's a number that's hard for people in your weight class to hit. So like, yeah, at some point you're going to be chasing that state record, And if you beat it, then somebody's going to be chasing it. But it's not a situation of like, oh, it's the state championship. Like, yeah, yearly sports happen. Nobody gives a shit about state championships because every year it's a new team.
I think this really just goes based off of which federation you live for. If I was in WRBF or if I was in USBA, I would probably feel the exact same way you do, because at every meet that we go to, it's a fucking state record. It's a world record. It's a national record that's getting broken, and it's like, how the fuck is that a record?
So you never cared about a USAPL state record. You guys have them. They're obtainable. You guys do not ever chase them. No one really cares to set them. We have people in this gym who have multiple and do not give a shit about things.
I guess it's different. But
I think at the same time, it's like you have to look at it in the terms of like those people now have bigger goals than that.
I think they cared.
It doesn't matter.
But it's like for somebody starting out, like a state record is a good goal.
I think they cared about it.
I'd love to have a state record.
I think they cared about it in the moment where they're like, oh shit, I can get this record.
Yeah.
Then now it's at the point, like, I mean, shit, when we talked about Kareem did that shit, how many years ago?
2018. So
yeah, when she,
what,
when
5 years ago? 5? Yeah.
Yeah, so, and that was when she was a junior. So, yeah, she doesn't care about that anymore, because it's not like she can go, it's not like she can, if somebody was to come and beat her shit, then she can, go back and be 19 again. No, and just say, fuck, I'm gonna go take my record back. No, but then also on top of that, she's stronger than what she was then. So it's like, why she doesn't really care about that.
Ryan, I think it matters the level of where you're setting your goals. Like, so for myself, some of us at the table again, like we're highly competitive. I don't look at state or national records to an extent, because like the ultimate goal is to one day get an all-time world record. Now, if it's something that's completely unreachable, like for instance, I think the all-time world record is Zach's bench at like 640 or some shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm benching 640 drug tested. So like a little bit unrealistic at a point. But like, what's the next one down? Maybe it's like 550. That's something to chase. It's the highest level, so I'm chasing that. I don't care about somebody who had, like, right now I think I have what, 452 bench. Like,
yeah,
there's other people who probably in this one who was Deuce Gruden or someone else had a 507 bench in the state in a different corporation.
For 82s or 83s, yeah, Deuce does.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
418 bench.
The number is just higher at the higher levels. So I'm only chasing those ones.
Right.
Who cares if I'm the biggest and best in my state? There's 50 fucking states. Like, I care about the one national. I care about that one.
You're not getting a world record unless you set a state record first.
Right.
No, you can just jump it. You don't have to have a state record.
Chandler said, like, you are probably not going to just show up at a competition having never hit a record before.
If your eyesight is set on those records, the other ones don't really matter. I didn't come into the sport looking to set state records. It was a last minute thing that someone told me, like, oh, you can set that. I'm like, well, why the hell not? I already had the one before, so back in October, I was like, shit, let me add 20 more pounds to it.
Right.
Ultimately, I'm still going for that world and national record, because like that is across the board highly competitive.
Right.
And then eventually, if I do have to unfortunately go untested in order to reach those even higher goals, then so be it. That's just elevating to the next level. My goal sight is always on the highest competition. That's why I don't care about my squat. I don't care about my deadlift. I don't care about bench, because right now it's not satisfactory enough. I feel like everyone has that like stages to their goals where they have to find ways to elevate it. Like, it's cool if you hit rep PR, you're the best in fucking gym. Who cares?
Best in the gym, I will agree with. But for me, I guess the difference is the fact that for our weight class, I am not competitive nationally. And so if I can continue to hit PRs myself, and that so happens to also then be a state record, I'm going to care about it. And if I can continue to beat those and then get to, national world record status, then...
But what is the end goal?
The end goal...
You just said if it just so happens you get it. But what was the end goal? To be...
My end goal is to beat myself. Like...
But that's something like what? A nationally, like...
But that's what I mean is, like, at this point, like, the only way for me to get better is for me to compete against myself, because if me and you are in the same weight class, I'm not competing against you. Like you're a little stronger than I am. And so if I can continue on this path of I beat myself up until the point where I am now also beating you, then that's how I have to look at it.
It's levels to this shit.
Because like in the middle of this table here, we got a little bit more experienced lifters, whereas me and Ryan like don't necessarily have the competitive numbers and totals.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I thought
What's what I'm saying? It's like where you're setting your goals from that point, wherever you have your point of entry, whether it's, you know, brand new or lifting for years, it's like,
I mean, yeah, like actually, like I want to get to the top level, but I'm not going to get there unless I can continue to beat my previous number.
well, again, that's fine. I'm just saying that the state record doesn't matter on the way to it. Because what does that do? What does that do for you on your way to it?
It shows
Same thing as
it shows that I have attained Super Saiyan 1 and I am approaching Super Saiyan 2. That's what it means.
I think it is. You're looking at it as people who just hold state records essentially as the like back in my
Their
day,
ultimate trophies. Yes.
Yes. But it's like, no, I get it. It shouldn't be that is the ultimate goal. It should be I want to be the best that there is. And that's a good way to look at things. But again, like you still have to acknowledge that when you hit that record, it is very different than a high school football state championship. Because again, every year it happens. Every year there's fucking 50 kids going around. I'm state champ. Nobody gives a shit. Sorry. It's cool. But again,
and there are also
next year, there's
4 5
I think
I think out of all the USBA, WRPF meets that we watch a ton because we do research on shit. We just watch meets all the time. How many times do you hear state record attempt?
no, it blows the fuck out of me.
It isn't
show
all of them
yeah,
all the time.
yeah, but like that's
It
because
happens all the time. No one should care about that shit.
no, but like that is
But that's
and also
why-
based on the
that's why-
subcategory.
Yeah.
Like
that's why I get to
maybe your real, ick is with the subcategories in each of these federations, not the state records.
right.
No, it's
but that's why
records too.
But that's why I said to you that again it's because it is that no matter what we're going to hear that shit at least 40 fucking times at every meet, at every WRPF and every USPA meet.
I mean,
that's why
the teen ones kill me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Come on.
I mean, yeah, but shit, it's like
I mean, so but I think
it's a
for that-
category for a subdivision.
But that's the thing, though. I think
Same thing.
no, I
I
think
mean, yeah, but
I think teens is a very different category because
Yeah.
the way you have to look at it is they are very young kids in just every sense of the form. Where it's like they haven't been lifting long, they haven't been alive long.
Sean basically.
So to compare a
Lee
teen
has teen goals
with people in open
records.
it's a little bit out of reach because it's like, would that be fair for
He
you
was
to
19.
compare?
tell them to tell them little kids to get stronger then. Like, like the fuck. But
Like, I think having teens is not a bad thing because again, it's like you have these freak of nature kids now.
I'm not talking about the category of teens. I think it's
Oh.
fine.
Okay, then I don't know what the fuck just happened.
No, yeah.
You whispered something,
But-
and I missed everything, and I was just like,
I think the way you see it is literally just like that because again, it's based off of which federation you're in, to where that shit doesn't you do to where you find that shit matters. But I think for me and Ryan, and I guess for Ryan, I guess Chandler too. In a way, just based off of seeing like USAPL and what those records hold, and that they don't necessarily get broken as often. But I also get what you're saying as far as like why a state record doesn't really matter because
I'm gonna say if it
no, I get, and then that's why
broken, why aren't you guys chasing them harder?
so like, here's my thing.
You have been doing this for 6+ years.
The-
Why have you never gone for a state record?
because I'm not that strong enough for a state record.
But that's the thing. So Sean, here's the
not.
thing. Like for Clay and I,
You've never talked about wanting a state record. That's what I'm saying.
because I'm not close to getting a state record, Sean.
so that's the thing, Sean. Like, so let's look at it this way. So with Clay and I in USAPL, the records are so high. When I came to your meet in October, there was a guy he was in 82. So at that time, he was like 4 pounds under me. And he set a state record with, I don't even remember what it was. I think it was like red, yellow. And I'm like, I warm up with that shit for like 5 or 6. And then I move on to my next weight. So like I watched that and I'm like, how is that a state record? I literally I was sitting next to Ashley and I looked at her and I was like, so you're telling me if I just spit 4 pounds, that's kind of fucking crazy. But like if I just spit a bunch or cut weight for this meet and then showed up, I can do an RPE 5 and I can get a state record. Like, that was a joke.
In certain federations, yeah. It's
But that's
really
the
that
thing.
That's just because they're not a.
Kid, those records weren't that high yet. Eventually, they will get to a point where that record is technically like an all-time record for that weight
that
class.
Fed has been around for 20 plus years.
Yeah, which
It's been
again,
at that
it's like,
point.
why was an
It's been at that
82 at
point.
such a low weight? I don't know.
It does just go based off.
Well, because for USPA at the time, like, it's still tested and untested.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, motherfuckers are more willing to
Yeah.
come in at, like, higher weight classes and then switch over to untested. Like, smaller weight classes, like, if you look at USAPL, they're a bunch of smaller dudes. Like, you know, like, it's just, it's a different competition at that point.
That's why I just hate.
But like,
I just hate how divided this shit is.
do you
So
even
fucking
know
annoying.
what the state records are for USAPL for your weight class?
We just looked.
We learned that the other
We just
day.
looked it up. No particular reason, but we just looked it up.
Yeah,
It's like,
but
mm,
I mean, it's some good numbers, but
but I think like Chandler says, again, you technically aren't competing with that state record until you beat yourself to get to that point.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not going to look at a state record and be like, I want to chase that number. No, I just want to beat myself. And then if eventually I stumble upon that, yeah, that's cool. I hit that.
I think
I broke it.
You know what the most annoying part about this shit is that no matter what, with these different federations, it basically creates different worlds. For instance, whoever you talk to about powerlifting that's not really into it, you're gonna tell them somebody that you think has either a record or some shit. But really, I'm gonna say somebody different because I'm in a different federation that has a record and shit.
Mm.
And it just makes the shit it just makes everything just so fucking confusing. I remember I had this conversation with Ian a couple weeks ago. Ian's one of our members here. He's been a member since we first started. But
Or that flex training system.
Yeah, Ian.
but we were talking about how we hate like explaining powerlifting to like our friends or like family members that really don't know shit about it, because it is just so, because it's just they start to ask the questions like, oh, so wait, so why is there like so many different federations? You guys explain like, why is this many federations, and then like, why is this different here, why is this different there?
It's kind of like Taylor. I was
It's
talking
so
about that
fun.
on
Like,
Eating the
it's
Lips.
just it's confusing and it's so fucking tiring.
It also really sucks for somebody like me who's not necessarily competitive when like they look at me and think like, damn, like you can lift pretty heavy. And it's like comparatively to y'all, you know, non-power lifters, sure, yeah, I'm strong.
Yeah.
But I just had to break it to my girlfriend that I ain't shit. And she was like, nah, like, come on, you're pretty good, right? Like you do well. And I'm like, I'm probably not even going to place at my meet. Like,
Shout
right,
Shout-
shit.
Shout out Laurel. She literally makes everybody that she meets, that she encounters with, she literally like paints this picture that you think I'm like IPF world champion around this dude. As soon as she talks about me, and then when I talk to these people, I'm like, thanks, but like I ain't really shit, but thanks. Like,
Yeah, I appreciate you, but like, I don't really have it like that.
I honestly don't talk like that around other people. I mean, like, so for instance, my wife's coworkers, they watch all of my social media and everything. They're like, man, your stuff's impressive. Like, it's just this and that much weight. And I'd never be able to move like that. And I'm like,
shit.
meh,
You look at them and like, yeah, you can't, because you're not me.
You don't have a state record like
can't
me.
be that competitive all the time. That's another reason why I
I have a state record, but I don't care about it. Here's a certificate.
Yeah, if you care, go rip up your certificate right now. It's under that desk. I know where it's at.
No, it's not.
Is it?
No, I've never printed that shit.
I don't know where it is. I lost it because I didn't fucking care.
It's a data file. I took a screenshot of it. That's it. I've never printed it out. You?
Wait, hold up.
Delete the JPEG.
I swear to God, you had that shit framed in your old.
No, I have my USPA coaching certificate framed.
Oh nah, hold the fuck up. You had.
No.
No, I had my coaching cert
He
framed.
had the coaching cert framed, and then he had all of his medals.
Yeah,
Nah, he had.
it was never.
You had this.
It was never the record. I promise you.
It was
I don't even have my like trophies from like growing up.
Hell
Fair.
no, bro. I'm
Not
pretty
boxing, like
sure I saw a certificate of that state record, and
No, you saw my coach practitioner thing for USPA.
I'm gonna ask.
Certified
I can't
USPA.
even ask
coach.
Jordan because he's gonna be biased.
Yeah, school orders just does not.
Because in that old office, it was literally like, I am AFM. I am a personal trainer. Here, look at this other
my
coaching
powerlifting corner.
Here's all this other.
Well, I
coaching
swear you
stuff
had
makes
that.
us, like qualified to
Because
be
right
the
up under
best
it was my
personal
Westside
trainer.
certificate.
Yeah.
I was super proud of that shit. No one cares.
No.
Chandler cared.
I cared.
Chandler.
I care. He was in that office for 20 days and I showed I don't know.
But no. So
I showed up
going
one day,
back,
that shit was
going back
empty.
to it. So Taylor Atwood talked about that too with King of the Lifts one time, where he was like, Ryan was like, so what do you tell people? Because you manage people's money, like you're not even remotely close to the world. You're like, they're not like us running gyms or hosting meets, taking pictures and stuff, anything like that. And Taylor Atwood's like, well, first thing I put on my application is, or what I tell people is, I'm a world champion. That gets them interested. And I'm like, that's that shit I hate.
I want to say something, but I can't say.
I appreciate the fact that he is a world champion. I appreciate the fact that he is putting powerlifting out there in the forefront.
I'm not gonna lie.
But
I would.
that is
tell people in world
fucking
champion.
cringe as
That is something.
I would
that is more
100%. I would
Is-
100% do that.
that is cringe as
So
I would 100%.
I don't know if that would be the first thing that I tell
not
people.
the first thing. That'd be like down the line. They'd be like, oh, qualified, and you're a world champion. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm a world champion.
No, because I never want to. I hate talking about myself to people in general. You know what I mean? So when it comes to like talking about my achievements and my accomplishments like that and shit, you know what I'm saying? I don't always want to start off with that, with like what I've accomplished and shit, blah, 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 because it could be somebody that literally doesn't know a damn thing about the gym. I can tell them I'm a world champion and they're going to be like, for what?
you went to the Olympics?
Or powerlifting.
Yeah, they're gonna say something like, "Oh, the
Yeah.
Olympics, world champion, and some other type of sport."
Powerlifting. What the fuck is that?
I been deadlift more than anybody else.
But specifically
So,
those three things.
That's another thing that brings up the division is that you're world champion of one federation. You don't even have all of them under you. And he, like,
Yeah.
for instance, that guy just lost in his own division.
Yeah, so he must take world champion off of his resume now.
Former world champion. The accolades part is just, I've never been
Just send
someone to do that.
Just send a screenshot of his bio. Hey, bro, you need to edit this.
Hey, I watch you lose.
I think having that as an accolade inherently isn't a bad thing. But again, it comes down to people who it's like,
If that's your
that is
personality,
that is their
that's
claim
the wrong
to fame.
No,
Like,
they-
that is this is the only thing I have done. That is your defining point
I
about
love it. Yeah.
that is, yeah, you know, it takes away from it. 'Cause it's
You know,
okay, you did that, but like, what have you done from that?
No, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like,
Yeah,
being-
That's
I'm not shading. Like, I'm not shading being a world champion. Don't get me wrong. Be like being a world champion. Like, yeah, that's some good shit. Like, that's you top dog. But
what else have you done?
yeah,
And like when I say what else have you done, it's like giving back to the sport.
Well,
Like
yeah.
about Travis, yeah, you're working on his merch right now. It's just I noticed that,
That's
but
crazy.
giving back to the sport. So someone like Rust, world champion at 82.5 kilograms, right? He opened up a gym. He has a brand. He has provided jobs. He has an entire powerlifting community now centered in Houston. And he can be like, yes, I'm a world champion, but this is what I've done besides that. You know, most times I will criticize you to no end about Russ because he's just one of the more cringeworthy people. But when it comes between him and Taylor Atwood, it's like, what did you do?
no, yeah,
But like even Sean Noriega coaches
That's the
hundreds of athletes.
no, yeah.
that's kind of hard for me though, just because like with Russ, like his profession outside of powerlifting is also fitness, just like us.
Yeah.
Whereas
He's a
with
with
Taylor Atwood, with Taylor Atwood, he has a day job. Like he can't give back
Yeah.
to the sport like somebody like Russ or like we can. Like, what have we done for the sport? Oh, well, we've opened up this gym. We've built a community in Richmond. Like,
Yeah.
But there's people who have full-time jobs, daytime jobs that do give back to the sport. Travis, for instance, again, bringing him back up. He's he'd be like, no, Sean is dick riding me this entire
no,
podcast."
and so like I can
He's a
appreciate
teacher.
I can appreciate that, but like with being a teacher, that gives you certain leniences in your schedule. Like he has the whole summer to like, you know, like he had, let's just say like when he opened the Bear Cave, like maybe he took one of his summers off to like build that, establish it, and then, you know, keep it running like while he was being a teacher. Like, you know, like he gets off, you know, school lets out at 3 or whatever. And from like 3 to 8, he gets his own training in. While he's there, he can also do that stuff. Whereas, you know, somebody that has a day job that doesn't necessarily have those time allowances, like maybe Taylor Alwood's, you know, time off is just him being able to train. Like it's slightly different.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, maybe he could have done more to give back to the sport. And like, I don't necessarily love him as an athlete and stuff. Like, I think he's kind of arrogant, and like, you have to be to a degree once you get to that level. But I also think that we need to, you know, give some concessions where, you know, if you have the day job to be able to give back to it and you don't, then you're truly a piece of shit. But if that is your day job and you do well with it, like Russ, like, yeah, like now he has provided all of those things that you already named. Like, clearly he's doing more with powerlifting than, you know, anybody would have expected him to. So it's like, you know, like, even though maybe he's a little cringe, it's like, hat off to you. Like, you've done something with your name. Like, that's commendable.
Yeah.
It's just the influence thing, because it's just, they find a target audience, and just, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's just whatever works for them, wherever gets the algorithm going, that's the shit that they gonna do. I mean, you can't really fuck with what everybody does, but at the same time, though, at the end of the day, that shit it don't really got shit to do with you, and you can easily just either unfollow, or you can just keep scrolling and look past it and just move on with your day and just not let it affect you, kind of shit.
You look eager. What?
Yeah, man. How many commercial gyms has Taylor Atwood gone to and filmed a video?
For 4 to 6 hours. Yeah.
How many people has he taken through his training program?
Every angle
video.
Or taking them in Chipotle, and this is what I eat.
I ain't gonna lie, he's done.
How many shiesties has he sold?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, he's done this shit. Them commercials,
He is not that.
I ain't looked at not one of them that commercial videos.
I've been waiting to
Like,
say that's a
What shiesties has he sold? That's the most cringe word.
Just saying it. In theory, like, Russ has done more for Taylor. Just saying. Or than Taylor, not for Taylor.
No,
But
but
he's got nice hair though. That's cool. Looks like a Muppet.
I've been saying
Taylor, not Russ.
the accolades being your whole personality is ridiculous. Just like, I would never put that on my first thing on my resume. If I'm meeting someone for the first time, they're gonna be like, "What are you into?" or whatever. Sure, like, I'll talk about it, but again, I'm not boosting my own shit. Like, yeah, I'm a world champion.
So rolling back to like cringe shit, if Russ were to put on his resume in the fitness industry, I am a world champion, that's fair. With Taylor, he does something with finances, correct?
He basically manages 401ks and
So, like,
bigger hedge funds.
Yeah, so like you do finances essentially. Imagine going to a bank for a job and they're like, "Oh, so like what experience do you have?" "I competed over in Europe, lifted some heavy weights." "Okay, well, can you fucking do finances?"
Well, so that's kind of honestly though, like, just because I have already said that I would totally do that, putting world champion on your resume, it shows a certain level of dedication and willingness to do things that are uncomfortable. And if you have the actual accolades to like get you the job, if you also are a world champion, that proves that you are a certain type of person that maybe
That's fine.
on
You're
your
talking
team.
about putting it first.
I don't think it goes first thing, though.
No, that's what he
he
says.
I think
And that's my one bugaboo.
Yeah. So like what you're saying, completely agree. Yes, that's at the very end.
Yeah, like, we should be like,
If it's like, yeah, if it's at the end,
it should be like a financial manager.
World champion Taylor Atwood, please get the fuck out of my office.
So look, in that
Fair. That's
in that episode of Russ podcast that you played yesterday, they talked about this a little bit, where it's like, so that shit, the shit that Taylor claims that he does, that y'all say he does or whatever, it's not gonna fly here because powerlifting isn't really like, I mean, it's
You talking about here as in Richmond or here in Houston?
here as in America. It's not like, it's not as big as it would be in Sweden.
No,
Where-
no. I
because-
actually think I think it's bigger.
No,
Like weightlifting as a sport,
Sean,
it's way bigger in Eastern European countries versus like
if you
here,
go,
powerlifting in
I think
Western
you guys are agreeing.
Sean, no, I'm saying like this. They brought it up on the Better Take podcast, where it's like, if you get a gold, if you powerlift in Sweden and you get an IPF gold medal, you are royalty coming back.
I highly doubt that.
I promise you, they treat you.
If it's Rush saying that, I doubt.
No, I'm no
I need to see
powerlifting in in Europe, Asia, and Italy. They treat it like fucking royalty over there.
Okay,
That you are a world champion.
Mr.
love the people over
Westside, where did Louis get all of his weightlifting information and programming from? He brought that shit over from Europe.
Wait, Sean, you're saying that like it's not like America is bigger than overseas?
No. I said weightlifting, like the sport of weightlifting, is huge in those countries.
Yeah.
I do not think you're treated as royalty for powerlifting specifically.
I promise.
I think the
No,
Olympics
no,
weightlifting
both-
is huge there.
Both powerlifting,
Both.
No, bro.
both are bigger
Because
than
they even,
Oh.
I mean, they could. I don't know if this is true or not, but apparently too, if you were going to worlds and stuff, like they say some shit like the government's funding like these athletes to go to worlds and shit.
Yeah.
I'm-
It's similar to
Okay, I gotta see
it's like the World Cup.
I
too.
yeah no, but I'm saying, but I honestly I believe it because bro, when you watch IPF Worlds, bro, and it's somebody is like a known lifter from Sweden or from France, bro, they are going crazy.
You also have to look at country size.
like
They are much smaller countries.
like when you talk about France, like the three Turbo Tiff, Pena, and what's the other girl? You know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
Fuck, what's her? I forgot her name,
Yeah.
but the three. Shut the fuck up. but literally the three of them, dog. They go fucking crazy.
you know that they
They
compete
go
from France.
fucking crazy. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that it just depends on where you are, because I think a world champion here in America is only big for powerlifting, like for like just like the powerlifting
You know why?
people
You know what's big?
in America.
You know why it's not big? Some people don't consider it a sport.
Exactly.
This is true.
So
Exactly. So,
go
but-
into that.
so again,
what is your
and that,
opinion on that? We'll just go around the entire thing, but the question I'm going to ask you guys is powerlifting a sport or a hobby? Because we treat hobbies the way that you're about to describe it. They treat powerlifting as a sport. I'm on the side of powerlifting being a sport.
wait, no, I'm on that side too, and you,
Yeah.
No. I'm asking a
Like,
question.
Short form answer is what you're asking, like yes or no. Yeah, no, it's a sport.
yeah. If you don't think it's a sport,
Yeah, it's a sport.
If you don't think it's a sport, then that means that you think you suck at this shit.
Really, I'm saying we don't treat it here in America as a sport. We treat it as a hobby.
It's that division. Yes, to where
Yeah.
you have people that you have people that treat it as a sport, and you have people that treat it as a hobby. Yeah.
So my big thing, so like we've had a couple of members, join this conversation off camera on whether or not this is a sport or a hobby. And, now that we're talking about Olympics, foreign countries competing and all that kind of stuff, like if powerlifting's not a sport, why is Olympic weightlifting a sport? It's literally the same thing, just the movements are slightly different. Like, you still have judges that are saying whether or not that you have completed this lift. Like, there is a standard that you need to hold yourself to. Like, there are rules, and you have to pick this weight up off of the floor or, whatever. Like,
You are going to be placed first, second, third,
Yeah.
so on and so forth. You are going to receive a medal, and at the end, and that flight is going to show where you placed among your weight class and overall in that competition. It is a sport.
Yeah, no. We look. I know that we all agree.
It's like
It's just the fact that people take it at. So we used to joke about this all the time. That the times that we have really bad days, or the times that a competition doesn't go well, man, it's just lifting weight. We lifted for 9 minutes. And it's like inherently that self-deprecation and humor is fantastic. Yes, I'm just lifting weights in the gym.
That is
Please, that makes it so much better for a split second, because then it's like, you know what? Why am I upset I didn't get this bench or this squat? Fuck it, I got next week. But then when that gets taken too far, it is like, if it's just hobby, you don't care about it, then why are you paying $65?
So my thing with that though,
Why are
is
you
like,
buying this singlet? Why are you buying these knee sleeves, these bars? Why are you going to these competitions? It's like, that inherently already makes it more than just a hobby. And people take it to the extreme of, well, there's no cardio output, the intensity level is not there, and that people inherently don't have the same excitement level. And I will always argue against those.
Or it's not it's not physical.
I think it's a very interesting
Yeah,
conversation.
that's not physical.
Because I think it's a very subjective thing. Obviously, it's not going to be a sport to everybody. It's only as much of a sport as you make it. It's like similar to like the whole like a square is a rectangle, but a rectangle is not a square, because like a sport is a hobby, but not every hobby is a sport. Like collecting stamps is a hobby. It's not a sport. You don't need to get your heart rate up for it to be a sport. People doing archery are not doing cardio, but it's a sport. It's in the Olympics. People shooting fucking, what's the one where they like are doing like the target shooting one, like
Cross country.
Yeah, like that one.
Golf.
Again, it's not a high cardio demand, but it's still a sport. You have people like, again, like anybody who just likes to do powerlifting because they find it fun, they enjoy competing, but they're not like, oh, I have to do this, I have to beat everybody. They just want to do it for like, you know, their own personal gain. They might not look at it as a sport, but it doesn't make it not a sport. You know, it's like you see what I'm saying?
Well, that's great. What creates the division is that you have people who celebrate it. It's like, again,
I mean,
Taylor, let's say Jesus just did Sheffield, competed for Team America, won it. It's celebrated very highly in our community. It's celebrated across most sport industries. But you didn't see a parade going down fucking Washington Avenue.
It's the
right?
parade in Summer Stadium.
I knew you were going to as soon as it said parade. But that's what people say. Like, it's just a hobby. You're just lifting weights. And it's like, don't diminish that shit.
it's a different type of lifting weights.
I feel like the people that are going to be saying that, oh, we're just lifting weights for 9 minutes, like that is them just trying to like psychologically, it's like
trying to
like model themselves.
It is the ones that suck at
and that's the thing.
powerlifting.
It's
that
also
say
like,
that.
you wouldn't say that about bodybuilding. It's not just lifting weights. Like they're not simply
They
like,
say
yes,
that
by
because
definition they are.
they have more bad training days than they do good training days. And when they do meets, they either they don't win or they come in dead last. When they compete, they fucking suck.
I feel like it's also people that maybe just like, you know, one thing that old heads in our sport will say is like, you need to learn about your craft if you want to be successful. And if you're not willing to take the time to like, one, learn about like what you're doing. So like if you have a coach and you don't coach yourself, like you need to learn about the sport enough to know like, oh, in this block, this is what my coach is doing. This is what my outcome is going to be.
Also,
You have a coach. Fucking coach.
Also, it is the people that in high school they just either didn't play sports growing up, or they played a sport that they truly liked and they fucking sucked at it, and they just didn't play, or they got cut from a certain team.
But then, because then like on the other side of things, like if you did play sports, like, you know, like the emotion that goes into it.
Yeah.
And I dare you to look at people who take this, you know, as a sport and show me that like we don't have emotion and that we don't put like our whole being into like I want to get better. Like, and
if anyone's ever seen Chandler get hyped or celebrate, that shit shakes the building.
Dog, like I am not competitive in my weight class, but I dare you to tell me that I don't care about this sport. Like,
so my thing is like, do you think it's people who even say they were athletes in high school or in college, where it's like, you obviously in college have more of a structured training program, where I know in high school, I didn't have any strength and conditioning at all. It was literally you go out, you play lacrosse, that's it. But in college, we had 5 a.m. workouts where we're in the weight room.
You still had the motherfuckers who said, like, we're just running up and down a field.
But that's what I'm saying is, do you think it's people who had that element, but they just look at it as like, oh, well, I was lifting weights all the time, but like, it wasn't a sport. Like, I was doing it to improve my sport, and they look at it like that. Like, do you think that's where people start to discount it? Because it's like, oh yeah, like I go to the gym, I'll do a 45-minute like circuit on the machines. That's not a fucking sport. It's not. But like,
I know. I think it really goes down to mentality. It's like if you treat it as a hobby that doesn't matter, then you're not going to be good in it. So like the people who don't care, like again, me and you both played college sports. We had the same kids on the team, the ones that make us do more conditioning, the ones that would make us do extra sets because you're late to conditioning or whatever else. They fucking suck. They didn't deserve a scholarship. They didn't deserve to walk on.
They're not going to get playing.
This doesn't matter. That coach doesn't like me. It's whatever. So like, well, I don't know why I'm still doing this. It's like you're the sorry motherfucker that like is making us do this. If you don't like it, it's just run up and down the field and leave.
I had to
stop coming to the gym
because he didn't feel like doing like laps. Because you're like, why do I have to do this? And it's like, bro, you missed 3 practices. You showed up late 3 times. We were doing 6 whole laps around the field. Suck it up. And he's like, I'm not doing it. And he quit.
Exactly. Like, it sounds so...
That was freshman year. That was like
school
fall training.
Like,
not even the
fucking soft.
Yeah.
You can't take a little hard work and grit. And it's like, no, they really can't. They're fucking soft.
I think that goes, with any sport, like you're just saying, like
exactly.
If you don't care about it and you're not willing to put in the effort, then you're not going to be good, and you're not going to see it as a sport because it doesn't mean anything to you because you're not going to be good anyway. Like, right there is a joke, in weightlifting where we have our like lifetime intermediates, where like, unfortunately, genetically, you're just not going to be able to get to a place where you can like set those like high records and stuff. But even somebody that considers himself a lifetime intermediate, I guarantee you there's a lot of those motherfuckers that still care more than a good majority of people that go into gyms and are still willing to like try and like come and like do what they need to do. And maybe it doesn't go anywhere, but that doesn't mean that they stop showing up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're going to wrap this bad boy up.
You say, what are we looking at? Are you bored?
Yeah.
I have no clue. You just said.
Hour and 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll cut this, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a funny question for us, actually.
Is it the Caps question?
It's not about to be funny.
Nigga, you're not funny, so it's cool.
Can't say that. You can't say that word.
No, I can't say that word.
Half of this table cannot say that word. I think he's allowed to say that word.
Yeah.
Also, one thing that Sean told me when we did this podcast, he was like, yeah, you should limit the amount of times that you say the word. I'm like, how dare you try to limit me?
That was real white of Sean.
It's a white to make sure we don't make y'all feel uncomfortable. Say it then.
Just because I feel comfortable with y'all saying it does not mean that I feel comfortable enough to say it myself.
I'm hearing that shit every day.
Stop talking about your childhood. Every time you say something, it's something traumatic, bro.
How is that traumatic?
It makes me more depressed. You grew up somewhere, again, so sad. People smoking in the bathrooms. Motherfuckers getting cut.
I also there were lots of people smoking in the bathrooms. Like
y'all need therapy.
I'm in therapy.
You didn't.
I'm in it.
What's the question?
I lost the question at this point.
Was it the calves?
What about calves?
Like the physical muscle on your body, not like the sports team.
I would have a question on my calves.
Oh, because we were talking about it like when we were setting everything up. How like Birval was like, hey, like, how do I get bigger calves?
Nope.
I thought that was it.
No.
I was like, that is kind of a funny question.
You train them with intensity.
Mm-mm.
Sean is just blessed with them, but for the rest of us,
I got nice calves.
You don't got calves like this motherfucker has calves.
Better than yours.
False.
I have a question. Would you rather drop a 25 kg 25 kg weight on your foot, or would you rather have 225 like pressure chest stop?
Dog.
What?
Question. First dog.
How about this?
You just know how much weight you just said?
Fuck that.
I'm gonna
hold on.
You just did
how about
kg difference. Like,
name your 3 favorite songs currently and why people should listen to it.
Oh, can I look? Can I use my phone?
Why did you do this, bro? Why? You know what you like? Oh my God.
Do not play it out loud.
No, I'm just looking. I'm looking.
What is your 3 favorite songs right now?
Are you serious? Oh, you fucking serious?
Clay, you just listened to. Are you out?
You literally, because you know he's gonna troll. You know he's gonna.
Oh
troll.
no, I'm actually my like songs. Fuck you.
I thought he opened TikTok. He's gonna play SpongeBob shit.
I'll go first. So right now it's Sleazy World, Off the Court. It's John Morant's song. Really love that song. I love Turnstile right now. And it's Don't Play. If you ever know Turnstile, it's a really nice little intermediate group. And then I've actually been rocking with a heavy metal song here that I'm pretty sure it's by Wage War, and it's correct. It's called Stitch. Shit, just go nuts. I love some heavy metal. Every now and then I throw on some more Morgan Wallen.
Are you looking for like new songs, or it can just be like anything?
Just right now,
Just like right now, it's really scratching that itch.
Yeah.
Okay. I only got one, so somebody else can go.
Okay, I'll go next. The song that scratches that itch while I'm lifting right now, also heavy metal, called Pure Hate by Insidual.
Is that my playlist?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It really gets me amped up, I will say. The next one, much more mellow vibe, is Lemon Tree by Mount Joy. You want to,
I feel like a quote.
No. It's like now is the perfect time to listen to it. It is summertime vibes, like, very,
Kool-Aid,
flowy, like things are nice.
Jonestown.
No, none of
I
that.
literally heard you say drinking some Kool-Aid, and my brain went there right away. That was weird.
And then last one. Really anything that's like, elder emo, like Paramore, Panic at the Disco, like Fall Out Boy. Literally any
divorced dad rock.
No, seriously, anything that is of that era of like, early 2000s, 90s, like, emo rock, like.
What are you bumping right now? You've been listening to all these new albums. If you say anything from Young Thug's albums, that thing's trash.
Gonna Back to the Moon, Gonna Fuck You Mean, and then Yeet and Young Thug, Margaret. 3 songs.
All right, so mine are all over the place. So first off, we got Colors by the Black Pumas. Love that one. Then up next, ever since we started back, well, I guess it's going to be done soon, but like Sad Drake Sundays, Feel No Ways, that one just takes me back to a good time. And then Murder on My Mind. You got something that belongs to me. Your body language says it all. Despite the things you said to me.
Anyways, that's going to wrap it up with this episode of Controlled Chaos. Thank you again, everyone who helped put this together, being behind the laptop filming us. You got Pinnacle, you got Papa Bear Strength. I'm not shouting out to Billy's. But
Fuck you.
That's it.
In the way,